Welcome to the channel The Coinlore Vault, and before you skip this video thinking pennies are just worthless pocket change, let me tell you something that might completely change your financial future. There's a 1981 Lincoln penny out there that's sold for an absolutely staggering amount that could make you rethink every single coin you've ever handled, and the craziest part is that this coin could literally be hiding in your change jar right now, sitting there completely unnoticed while being worth more than most people's annual salary. Now here's where this gets absolutely insane. The 1981 Lincoln penny we're talking about reached a verified auction value of $4,300. And yes, you heard that correctly, we're talking about a single penny, 1 cent, the coin most people don't even bother picking up off the ground, achieving a value that could cover months of rent, a down payment on a vehicle, or fund an incredible vacation, all because of specific characteristics that we're about to dive deep into. Let me take you back to 1981, a year when the United States Mint was producing Lincoln pennies by the absolute billions. We're talking about production numbers that reached into the stratosphere, with the Philadelphia Mint alone striking over 7 billion pennies that year, the Denver Mint contributing another 5 billion plus, and the San Francisco Mint adding proof specimens for collectors, creating a total circulation that seemed to guarantee these coins would never be worth more than their face value. Yet here we are decades later talking about individual specimens worth thousands of times their original denomination. The 1981 Lincoln penny features the iconic design that Americans have known for generations. Abraham Lincoln's profile facing right on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner back in 1909, with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" arcing above Lincoln's head, Liberty positioned to the left of his profile, and the date 1981 stamped to the right, while the reverse showcases the Lincoln Memorial design that was introduced in 1959, replacing the original wheat ears design, depicting the memorial building with tiny columns that can actually be counted by collectors with sharp eyes or magnification, flanked by United States of America, curving along the top, E Pluribus Unum, in tiny letters above the memorial, and 1 cent prominently displayed at the bottom. Now, you might be wondering what on earth could make a 1981 penny worth $4,300 when billions were made. And this is where the story becomes absolutely fascinating, because we're dealing with what numismatists call error coins. Pennies that left the mint with mistakes, abnormalities, or unusual characteristics that should have been caught by quality control but somehow slipped through and entered circulation, making them extraordinarily rare despite the massive production numbers. The most valuable 1981 Lincoln penny errors include specimens with dramatic die breaks, also called cud errors, where a piece of the die actually broke off during the striking process, causing raised blob-like areas of metal to appear on the finished coin, usually along the rim, and these aren't subtle little imperfections. We're talking about significant chunks of extra metal that fundamentally change the coin's appearance, with the most dramatic examples showing cuds that obliterate portions of the date, lettering, or Lincoln's profile itself, and collectors go absolutely wild for these because each one is unique, like a fingerprint. No two cut errors are exactly identical. Then there are the OFF center strikes, where the blank planchet wasn't properly aligned in the press when the dies came down to strike the design, resulting in a coin where the image is shifted dramatically to one side, leaving a curved blank crescent on the opposite side, and the value of these increases exponentially based on how far off-center the strike is. A 10% off-center strike might be worth $50 to $100. A 25% off-center strike could command $300 to $600, but a 50% or greater off-center strike where you can still see the full date, that's when you're entering the $1,000 territory. And if you've got a 75% or more off-center strike with a visible date, you're potentially looking at that magical $4,000+ range. And just when you think you've heard all the ways a 1981 penny can be valuable, let me tell you about wrong planchet errors, which occur when a Lincoln penny design is accidentally struck onto a planchet intended for a completely different denomination. Imagine a 1981 Lincoln penny design struck on a dime planchet, creating a penny that's smaller and silver-colored, or even more dramatically, a penny design struck on a quarter planchet. And these wrong planchet errors are among the most sought after mistakes in all of numismatics because they represent a perfect storm of mint chaos where multiple systems failed simultaneously, and a 1981 Lincoln penny struck on a wrong planchet, particularly a quarter or foreign planchet, can absolutely achieve that $4,000+ valuation. But wait, because there's even more that makes certain 1981 pennies extraordinarily valuable: double die errors, where the die used to strike the coins was itself struck multiple times during the hubbing process with slight misalignment, creating a doubled image that appears on every coin struck with that die. And while 1981 isn't known for any major double die varieties like the famous 1955 or 1972 double dies, there are minor double die specimens that dedicated error collectors actively hunt, and when combined with other errors or in exceptional condition, these can contribute to significant value. Now here's something truly mind-blowing about the 1981 penny market. While most people are completely unaware that their pocket change could contain these valuable errors, there's an entire community of dedicated error coin collectors who study every single die variety, every striking anomaly, every unusual characteristic with microscopes and specialized lighting, documenting each discovery and sharing information through online forums. Collector organizations like Kanika, the Combined Organizations of Numismatic Error Collectors of America, and at coin shows where these treasures change hands for staggering amounts. The grading and authentication of error coins is critically important because the difference between a genuine mint error worth thousands and a damaged coin worth face value comes down to expert analysis. This is why serious collectors always submit their potential error discoveries to professional grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, who will authenticate the error, assign a grade based on the coin's condition, and encapsulate it in a protective holder with a label describing the specific error type. And this third-party certification is absolutely essential for achieving maximum value because buyers need confidence that they're purchasing a genuine mint error and not post-mint damage. Let me paint a picture of what it's like to actually discover one of these valuable 1981 pennies. Imagine you're sorting through a jar of old coins, maybe change you've been collecting for years, maybe coins inherited from a relative, and you're casually examining each penny when suddenly you notice something unusual. Perhaps Lincoln's profile seems to extend beyond the rim in a weird raised blob, or the entire design is shifted dramatically to one side with a blank crescent showing, or the coin seems to be struck on the wrong size or color planchet, and your heart starts racing because you realize you might be holding something incredibly special, something that could be worth thousands of times its face value, and that rush of discovery, that moment of realization, is what drives coin collectors to search through literally thousands and thousands of pennies looking for that one exceptional specimen. The condition of an error coin plays a massive role in its value. A 1981 penny with a dramatic off-center strike might be worth $800 in circulated condition showing normal wear, but that exact same error in uncirculated mint state condition with no wear whatsoever could command $3,000 or more, because error coins in pristine condition are exponentially rarer than circulated examples. And this creates an interesting dynamic where collectors are searching both through circulation finds and through original mint-sealed rolls and bags hoping to find error coins that never entered circulation and remain in perfect condition. Real-world auction results for 1981 Lincoln penny errors tell an absolutely fascinating story. While most examples sell in the $50 to $300 range depending on the error type and condition, exceptional specimens have achieved remarkable prices, with major off-center strikes in mint state condition reaching $1,000 to $2,000, wrong planchet errors commanding $2,000 to $4,000, and the most dramatic multi-error combinations or errors in absolute gem condition pushing beyond $4,000, proving that yes, a 1981 penny can genuinely be worth more than many people earn in a month. The psychology of error coin collecting is truly unique because unlike regular numismatics where you're collecting coins that were intentionally made to be special, like proof sets or commemorative issues, error collectors are hunting for mistakes, for coins that represent mint failures, quality control oversights, mechanical malfunctions, and these imperfect coins carry a special appeal because each one tells a story of something that went wrong during the manufacturing process, creating a one-of-a-kind piece that should never have existed. Here's a pro tip that experienced error hunters swear by. When searching for valuable 1981 pennies, don't just look at the obvious stuff. Get yourself a decent magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe with at least 10x magnification and examine every aspect of the coin under good lighting. Look for subtle doubled images in the lettering or Lincoln's profile. Check for die cracks which appear as raised lines running across the coin's surface. Inspect for signs of a rotated die where the reverse is turned at an angle relative to the obverse, and examine the edge of the coin for any irregularities in the upset rim, because sometimes the most valuable errors are the ones that require careful observation to detect. The market for error coins has absolutely exploded in recent years thanks to increased awareness through YouTube videos, social media groups, and online marketplaces where collectors can easily buy, sell, and trade their finds, and this increased interest has driven prices higher for quality specimens while also educating more people about what to look for, creating a virtuous cycle where more errors are being discovered, more collectors are entering the hobby, and values continue to appreciate. For the best examples, storage and preservation are absolutely critical once you've identified a potentially valuable 1981 error penny. Never clean the coin because cleaning destroys numismatic value and can turn a $1,000 error into a face value piece. Instead, handle it only by the edges, store it in a proper coin holder made from inert materials that won't react with the metal, keep it in a stable environment away from extreme temperatures and humidity, and get it professionally graded as soon as possible, to both authenticate the error and protect it in a sealed holder that prevents further deterioration or damage. Now let me share something really exciting. Unlike coins from the 1800s or early 1900s that require significant investment to acquire even common dates, 1981 pennies are still readily available in circulation, in change drawers, in old piggy banks, which means that literally anyone watching this video has access to the same hunting grounds as professional collectors. You don't need thousands of dollars to start searching, you don't need special connections or insider knowledge, you just need patience, a decent magnifier, knowledge of what to look for, and the determination to examine coins carefully rather than just spending them without a second glance. The thrill of the hunt is what keeps collectors coming back day after day, week after week, year after year. There's something almost addictive about the possibility that the next penny you examine could be the one, the error that's worth thousands, the discovery that validates all those hours of searching, and even if you never find that $4,000 specimen, the journey of learning about mint processes, error types, grading standards, and the fascinating world of numismatics is incredibly rewarding in itself. Think about the stories these error coins could tell if they could talk. A 1981 penny with a major off-center strike was probably among the first coins struck after a die became misaligned, slipping past quality control inspectors who were perhaps distracted or overwhelmed by the pace of production, then entering circulation where it might have been spent dozens or hundreds of times by people who never noticed anything unusual, perhaps sitting in cash registers, vending machines, and pocket change for decades before finally being discovered by someone with the knowledge to recognize its value. And now that coin rests in a professional grading holder, preserved for future generations, worth thousands of times its face value. Here's something that absolutely amazes people when they first learn about it. The United States Mint produces literally billions of pennies every single year, and despite having quality control procedures, inspection stations, and automated detection systems, error coins still escape into circulation. Not as frequently as in the past when mint technology was less sophisticated, but it still happens, which means that yes, valuable error coins are being made right now and entering circulation, where they wait to be discovered by alert collectors. For those wondering whether finding a valuable 1981 error penny is pure luck or if there are strategies to increase your odds, the answer is both. Yes, there's definitely an element of luck involved, but successful error hunters employ specific strategies like searching through customer-wrapped rolls from banks, coins that have been sitting in collections or circulation for years rather than fresh from the mint, examining coins from older collections and estates where error coins might have been set aside by someone who noticed something unusual but didn't know the value, and focusing their search efforts on dates and mint marks known for producing specific error types. Though remember that truly dramatic errors can appear on any date from any mint. The educational value of error coin collecting extends far beyond just potentially finding something valuable. You learn about the coin production process, understanding how blanks are cut from metal strips, how dies are created and used, how striking pressure and collar mechanics work. You develop observation skills and attention to detail. You gain knowledge about metallurgy and why certain errors occur on certain compositions. You connect with a community of fellow collectors who share your passion, and you develop patience and persistence that serve you well in many areas of life beyond numismatics. As we wrap up our deep dive into the 1981 Lincoln penny and its potential $4,300 value, remember that this coin represents something truly special in the numismatic world. It's not a rare date, not a key variety, not a precious metal content play, but rather a modern coin that anyone could potentially find. Yet when it contains the right error in the right condition, it transforms from pocket change into a significant financial asset, and that possibility, that potential for discovery, is what makes coin collecting such an eternally fascinating and rewarding pursuit. So before you spend another penny without looking at it, take a moment to examine it carefully, because you might just be holding a small fortune in the palm of your hand, And wouldn't it be something if that next penny you were about to hand to a cashier turned out to be worth enough to change your life? Start searching today, educate yourself about error types, join online collecting communities, invest in basic magnification equipment, and never underestimate the value that might be hiding in the most ordinary-looking coins, because in the world of numismatics, appearances can be incredibly deceiving, and that plain-looking 1981 penny might just be your ticket to thousands of dollars.